Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about the maternal connection. Everybody has a maternal connection, and we cannot get away from it. It is our lifeline, literally, when we're born, from the day that we are born. Now, whether your mom is alive or deceased like mine, whether you were abandoned as a very small baby or an infant, whether you have had a tumultuous relationship with your mom, whether you love her deeply, whether she's your best friend, whether you're very hot and cold, whether you don't speak, whether you talk about everything 10 times a day, it's the same, okay? You have the same maternal connection and the need for a maternal connection that everyone else has. And this affects us in different ways. But from the time that we're born on this earth and we come into life, our maternal connection is the first and only thing that we know. This bond with a maternal being who will nurture, feed, take care of us, shelter us, love us, hold us, and keep us safe is our connection to survival in the world. So take that in. The maternal bond is your connection to survival in this lifetime. So as we grow and as we change and as we develop and as we go through things, this maternal bond is, the umbilical cord may be cut, but this imaginary bond, this need to be safe and survive in this world has a lot to do with this maternal connection. This maternal connection, not only to our own mothers, but basically to Mother Earth and to Source. It all comes through the mother connection. Okay, so the mother connection is symbolic for connecting to Source as well. So you can see how strong this mother connection is in our life and how it affects everything we do. So how do we let go? How do we transcend? How do we transform when we have pain and these deep feelings and emotions around this mother connection? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me just shortcut this for you and give you the sort of the ending right here and tell you, no matter how you feel about your mother, whether she's a good person, a bad person, what your relationship is like with her or isn't like with her, isn't really the point. At some point, it's really not about your mother. The mother connection is not about her as a person. When you were born and you were placed in her arms into this world, you instantly knew that you were loved, sheltered, cared for, accepted. You felt safe. You knew that she was going to feed you, and therefore you were home. So the mother connection is about feeling that sense, that feeling of home, that I am home. And so we're looking to get that, maybe not from our mothers now, but from ourselves, from others, from the world, that sense of I'm home. I'm home, I'm safe, I'm loved, I belong here. So everybody has a connection, the mother connection, okay? And that, it's like our lifeline to this life, to this world, to us, to our safety, to our love, to our connection, right? To the divine, to everything else in the universe flows. When we're young, it flows literally from the umbilical cord, from mom to baby. And then later, it's this feeling as the umbilical cord is cut and we are placed on our mother's chest. It is now a feeling. We're not flowing, but we know that this is home, right where we are, right on her chest. That is home. And that's this feeling of perfection, this feeling of home. Everything's okay. We're safe. We belong. And we either long for our whole life to get that back, to get to that state again, or maybe we never had that, and so something's missing, and so we're always looking for something, searching for that, never feeling like we quite fit in. So basically, as we grow, as babies, as we grow, the bond between mother and baby, and this is natural bond, and this isn't blaming anyone, let's go, pieces at a time, bits at a time, right from when the mom sets the baby down, when the baby then begins to crawl, when it begins to walk, when it begins to get new friends, right? It's the attachment turns into detachment over the course of a life, and ultimately through when the parent dies. If it should go that way, hopefully it would go that way, the natural progression, where the mother dies first. It's basically a letting go until the child moves out and moves on with their life, and the parent dies. It's this learning how to become independent and how to now feel safe in yourself, feel home in yourself, feel loved in yourself, use your own soul to be the place where home is. And until finally the mother will pass, and there's a grieving process and a longing, right, for that to, for the mom to come back, and never really quite feeling settled, because now we're on our own, right? And then that just continues from the next mom to the next child, from the next mom to the next child. So mothers and daughters, mothers and sons, mothers and children have this very special bonding relationship in the world. And I'm not just talking about relationships with your own mother. This video isn't just about your relationship with your mother or your lack thereof relationship with your mother. It's really about your relationship with yourself, your relationship straight up to the divine, to something higher than yourself, and your ability to feel loved, connected, safe, comfortable, joy, all those good vibrations, the good high vibrations, right? Which is joy, love, peace, comfort, acceptance. All of these are what we're looking for, right? And we can only give them to ourselves. So this isn't really a video about your mother, but it's a video on this mother connection, which is really a connection to Mother Earth, to the world. And it comes through you connecting to the world around you and feeling safe where you are. Often we get sidetracked in our relationships themselves, and you get caught up in the story of your relationship to your mother, the problems in your relationship, the patterns in your relationship, whatever may be going on in your relationship, whether it's good or bad. We all have our problems with our mother. We all have issues. We all have a push and pull, a tug of war. Some have a terrible, terrible relationship, and some have the closest relationship. But within those relationships, we still have this push-pull to the mother-child bond. And we get caught up in the story of our actual relationship, like who that person is, who our mother is, what our good qualities are, what our bad qualities are, what you need to, break away from, what you want in your life, what you don't want in your life. We get caught up in the actual person that she is and our relationship with her. And we forget that what we're really doing is trying to connect. The mother connection is so important, and why we're so hyper-focused on our mother's characteristics, our mother's personality, our mother's character traits, and our relationship with her, or lack thereof, is because we long to feel that safety. We long to feel like we're at home. We long to have that connection, that bond, that mother connection, that vital umbilical cord lifeline rushing to us from our mothers. And when we don't have that, when that is broken in any way, we can often feel safe, alone, sad, grief, loss, angry, all of these emotions come up, and it's really from our earliest point of bonding and our earliest point of, how we related with that mother connection to ourselves and through ourselves. And did we feel that she was our only connection to this world, to this life? And if, things aren't good with our mothers, we can't be okay. Or if, as you grow apart and your mother passes away, you can't be okay in this life without her. So often when we think about our mothers, there's a buildup of emotion, and usually it will lead us to feel either the super highest vibrational energies because we feel safe, connected, and loved in the world. And when we're with our mothers, or when our mothers are around, we feel safe, protected, loved, accepted. We feel that through her eyes we can do no wrong. There's an unconditional love. We feel like our life is amazing and we're happy. We feel like we just feel it's okay to be ourselves. Okay, so this is like the highest form, and we're able to feel all those high vibrations because we feel it's okay to be our truest self, and that we're loved and connected to this world through our mother's pride. And she's proud of us, and she approves, and she loves us, and she sends us, and she's there for us, and she's unconditionally loving. Or you may have a really bad relationship with your mother, or your mother may be gone. Okay, and in that case, there's a lot of grief, anger, frustration, pain, guilt, shame, abandonment feelings, right? There's all of these low vibration feelings because we just don't feel safe in the world, like home. We just don't have that connection to ourselves and to the divine and to Mother Earth and to the rest of everybody here on this planet, because the connection with our mother is not okay, or it's non-existent, or we feel like we carry guilt or shame or grief. We feel like we're abandoned, metaphorically or figuratively. We've been abandoned, and those feelings of sadness and loss and pain carry with us to everything else that we do in this lifetime. It carries to other relationships, it carries to all the other people, events, it carries to even your chronic illness and how you interpret your own illness, your symptoms, your suffering, right? There's something going on with your mother. You're not getting that love, that unconditional safety, that feeling of safety and love through her for whatever reason. And so you're misguided in thinking that you can't give it to yourself, right? But your mother's just a metaphor. Your mother's essentially, she gave birth to you. She was your first point of contact, straight up to the divine, straight up to the universe. But if you don't have the relationship with her, that's okay, because you can go straight up without her. You can go straight up through her. It's a metaphor for feeling completely and totally loved and safe and home in your body, in your mind, in your soul, in your house, in your community, in your country, on this planet, in this universe. So I might do another video on this separately, but I speak from experience. 10 years now since I've lost my mother, and that grief, that kind of sadness, that feeling of abandonment, loneliness, loss, guilt, shame, a whole bunch of different feelings, right? Anger, sadness, guilt, grief, deep, deep, deep pain and loss and grief, even 10 years out, can stay with me in a way that it's easy to stay stuck in those feelings because they make you feel closer somehow to your mother. Grieving somehow makes you feel closer when you're feeling that deep loss or sadness. You're keeping that person, that relationship, that memory, that feeling alive. And it's a way for me to sometimes say, if only she was here, everything would be better. If only, I could go back. If only. And it's an excuse. It's a way for me to put my attention and say, if my mom was here, this never would have happened. I'll never feel safe or fully okay again because she's not here, which are all just lies, but they're just this static that gets in the way of you and your true connection to the universe, to the divine, to whatever it is that you believe in, or whether it's just yourself, to your truest connection with your most authentic part of yourself. We believe that without the mother, without her physical being or her emotional presence in our life, we can't get there. Like there's somehow an interpreter, right? She's somehow the key to getting there, because at one point in our life, that was a physical reality where her umbilical cord attached to yours, that was a physical reality. You had to go through her, right? To reach God, to reach yourself, to reach this earth. So there was this very, very physical connection, and it's symbolic, but it also stays with us sometimes our whole life. And we feel that if things aren't right with our mother, if our mothers are gone, if our relationships are severed, whatever the case is, we really can't get to where we want in our life because we can't go through her in order to get to the place that we need to. But truly, the place that we need to get to is inside. So how do we let go then? How do we let go of this deep, deep loss, these fears, these abandonment issues, this grief, this shame, this guilt, this anger, this frustration? When it comes to the mother connection or the mother wound, right? And that is what I want to quickly go over. So it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel loss or abandon or whatever emotions that you feel. It's okay to feel that. It's natural and it's often good because it will point you in the direction that you need to go. So feeling that is one thing. Acknowledging that you feel that way is another thing. And then, but we must not stay at that vibration forever, right? We don't need to stay at that vibration forever. We can transform. We can transform by first becoming aware that this is just our deepest wound. It's our deepest story. It's our deepest, most primal connection to the divine, to ourselves, and to the world, right? This mother connection. And so once we're aware, this is our deepest pattern, it's our deepest, most visceral wound, we can then acknowledge it, right? Become aware, wow, this is it. This is the holy grail. This is the mother wound. They call it the mother load, the mother wound, the mothership. This is it. And when you're feeling that way, you want to first acknowledge it. Then I want you to watch my video on the steps to letting go. And it's not that we're letting go of our mothers. It's not that we're letting go of the idea that we want a relationship with our mother. It's not that we're letting go of our sadnesses or our loss or even our grief, but that we're letting go of our attachment to staying there, right? Because we don't have to stay there in order to have that connection. We can have a connection to our mothers in a new vibration, in joy, in love, in peace, in acceptance, in love. And so even in my case, where my mother's been gone for 10 years, I don't have to feel the pain and the abandonment to feel that deep connection with her. I can feel the love and the memories and the part of me that loves her most in the most joyous way in order to connect with her and in order to connect with that part of my being that wants to remember her and wants to remember that and needs her still, right? Needs her. Because you're never too old to need your mom. See, we all need our moms. We all need our mothers. No matter whether you think you do, no matter whether your mother's gone, no matter whether you have a great or a terrible relationship with your mother, we need our mothers because we need what that means in our life. We need unconditional love, acceptance, peace, safety, comfort. We need to know that we're being held, watched, that someone cares. We need to know that everything's going to be okay and that we're safe and that we can do it and that we're okay and loved just as we are. And that's what the initial connection with our mother is all about. So watch my video if you haven't on the process of letting go. And I don't mean letting go of the memories, letting go of, I mean, we really need to be willing to let go of these states that we're holding, the emotional states that we're holding, and we're just trying to climb up the emotional ladder, right? If we're sitting in grief, we need to be able to get a little bit above grief. Maybe that's anger, right? Because grief is so low. When we're in anger to our mom or to the situation or whatever, we want to climb a little higher, right? A little higher out of that. What else? We want to get up to neutrality where we can see the situation, that we can be attached to our moms, that we can still need our moms, that we can still always love our moms, and that we're capable of loving ourselves. And we want to get out of that lowest vibrational energy and train ourselves to be in a high vibrational energy when we think of our moms who gave birth to us, who loved us at some point. And even if they didn't love us, the caregiver in your life who was your mothering figure, somebody loved you at one point, loved you, and that's what we want to lift us up. That is the umbilical cord, so to speak, straight up to the divine was that love. And now we can take it for ourselves and give it to ourselves. So this has kind of been a bit of a longer, confusing video, but this mother connection and this mother wound holds us back in so many ways in our life, and it comes into play all the time, every day. We must acknowledge and feel that pain. We must feel the pain of the loss or the grief or the sadness or the anger or the resentment or the shame or the guilt when it comes to our mothers. And we must be willing to rise up to a new vibration, and that takes so much work. So watch my video on how to let go, the actual steps to letting go, and try this, because this mother wound will follow you, it will trigger you. It is your deepest, most primal wound, and you need to learn to be your own mother. You need to learn that you can get the connection to those higher vibrations and to the divine and to the whole world and the whole universe without having to go through her anymore, and that you can bring her with you in spirit. Okay, so go and watch that video now if you haven't. And next time you're triggered, and next time you're trying to do your inner child work, or next time you're doing some deep emotional thinking or meditating or work or trying to let go or doing your letting go techniques, really think about how this is connected to your original mother connection and your mother wound and what you're really truly looking for. And when we figure out that, when we know what we're really truly wanting and really truly looking for is that mother connection to be filled, then you can fill it. Then you can do it. You can take the steps yourself. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I will see you in the next one.